Commanders fans, what's up? Fantasy Football Network, what's up? It's Connor from NFL Watch Commanders on Instagram, and I'm here with some more fantasy football advice. Commanders fans, the Commanders are coming off a big Week 1 win. Very exciting inaugural game at home at FedEx Field. Got it done against the Jaguars 28-22. And I don't know about y'all, but if there's anything that I learned from that game, is that Scott Turner and Carson Wentz are going to make sure to get everyone involved. There was no one receiver or running back with a big game, but Carson was spreading the ball around. Terry had a touchdown. Jahan had 2 touchdowns. Curtis had a touchdown. They were all over 50 yards. And hey, Antonio Gibson, he wasn't running the ball that much, but he was involved in the passing game too. And he actually ended up being the leading receiver as well as the leading rusher. So that was very interesting. I love how Scott Turner game planned for that game. I hope we see more of that this season. And I love spreading the wealth. I love the idea of getting everyone involved, Logan Thomas as well. So going into Week 2, the Commanders head to Detroit for their second game ever, I guess you could say. So Week 2 fantasy advice. I'm going to start with Antonio Gibson yet again. The way that we saw them use Antonio Gibson last week was very exciting. He was a receiver in college, so he got a lot of targets, a lot of targets. So it seems to me, for Antonio Gibson, even if the rushing numbers are not there, the touches are consistently going to be there, especially Brian Robinson's still out. So Antonio Gibson is that number 1 back right now. So expect him to get a lot of touches. Even if it's predominantly in the passing game, they're going to be getting him the ball. So I'm comfortable with Antonio Gibson this week. And the Lions, they struggled against the rush, so I wouldn't be surprised if they even go to the ground more with Gibson. So it should be a big game for him. They're going to split him out wide. You're going to see those receiver skills as well as those running back skills. I feel very comfortable starting Antonio Gibson this week if you have him. And one more guy I want to talk about because I love this guy, Curtis Samuel. He's a bit of a sleeper for me this week because, hey, we talked a lot about the Carson Wentz slander, but one thing that was even more prevalent was the Curtis Samuel slander this offseason, even back into last season. It's a self-inflicted wound for the Commanders fans going after Curtis Samuel. But best believe he heard all of it. He came out in Week 1 ready to ride, ready to rock. He had guys on skates. He was making big plays. And I feel like similarly to Antonio Gibson, Curtis Samuel, as long as he's healthy, is going to be a guy that's involved every week, every single week. Carson was going short to him a lot and just letting him turn up, make plays. We even saw him in the backfield. He had some carries. I know he let one go. He had a fumble. But Scott Turner showed, and Scott Turner was also with Curtis Samuel in Carolina, so don't forget that. Scott Turner showed how you can use Curtis Samuel as kind of that wide receiver running back position, just getting him the ball as much as possible, getting the ball in his hand. And I think we're going to see more of that. So Curtis Samuel, a little bit of a sleeper for y'all. Good luck Week 2 with your fantasy games and take command. Hopefully we'll be 2-0 at the end of this week and come back here. Then we get Philly.